Hello, hello everyone. My name is Chewy, part-time god of relaxation, part-time hot springs owner, full-time dungeon master slash player? Um, sorry about that. Uh, I'm just gonna go down the line first, just do this. Thank you, Chess Piece, for being first, for taking a dip in the daily hot spring. I hope you enjoy yourself. And thank you for continuing your subscription. Always good to see you. And I hope you're excited for D&D. So, we're going to do a little bit of a recap because, it's good to have notes. It's good to have a little previously on. So, yes, previously on Just Roll With It, which I don't know, I think that's a fun name for a D&D show. Sorry, don't know what's up in my throat all of a sudden. We met Licity, who was an elf that lived on the countryside with her parents. Her mother worked in the brothels, and her father was a knight. And yeah, he taught her swordsmanship every now and then, but nothing crazy, just enough to defend herself. One day, the town, the kingdom that she's grown to know and love, Winegarden, guards started to attack. They burned down her home, her farm, and although she wanted to stay and help her father, he had told her that her staying was only going to get him killed for trying to protect her. So she ran. She went to the next person she could think of, a childhood friend who was a dragonborn, and she showed up too late as guards surrounded and killed him. And although she tried to fight back, she was not strong enough and was quickly overpowered until a halfling druid came to her rescue. Her name was Marigold, and she told Licity that she would get her to the next town, and that was it. Needless to say, considering that Marigold is still here, she decided not to do that, and is still traveling with Licity to this day. They went to this town, and let me see if I ever came up with a name for the town. Let me see. No, I did not. Okay. Willowgast. The town of Willowgast. I just gotta make a note of that. So yes, they went to the town of Willowgast and discovered, it was surprisingly empty at the inn, which was weird considering that it was getting late, and, inns are usually where adventurers go, where people go to unwind after busy days. But instead of a busy tavern, it was damn near empty. Marigold questioned the bartender, who told her that there's a monster that roams the town streets at night. And anyone who, wherever they are, they just stay there for the night. They don't want to mess with it. They don't want to end up this thing's next meal. So Marigold and Licity decided that if they take care of it, that they would ask for free room and board, and yeah, and free food. And the bartender accepted. The two went out and had a fairly weird fight, if I'm being honest. The thing was extremely powerful, but they caught it mid-snack, and because of that, it missed a lot of its hits. It was very easily subdued. At one point, a dragonborn male showed up, and instead of watching or flee, not watch, instead of helping or fleeing in terror, he decided to sit and watch, and just kind of egg them both on. So they defeated the monster. The Dragonborn introduced himself as Vincent Illrigger, and that is where we left off. So now, hold on, I'm going to adjust the volume here. Oh god, that's too loud. There we go. Yeah, I had to set it so it was like pretty low for me too. But yeah, okay. First roll of the campaign. Oh, and you guys may have noticed too, there's a new redeem that it's only for D&D streams. If you use the channel points, you can basically decide what happens within reason. Nothing like, you know, the main character decides to betray everyone and become evil. Like, you know, just, oh, the building next door collapses and, you know, stuff like that. But yes, we are going to do the first roll. Okay, never mind. We are not going to do the first roll. Give me one moment. I'm just gonna mute my mic. Okay, I am sorry about that. I'm back. That's annoying. I don't even remember. Okay, we were rolling to see, what's going on in the town. So we know that they are considered heroes. So I'll say, are they well known? Do they get, like, special treatment from everyone? I'll roll 2d6, because I'll say it's likely. 1 and 5, so yes. Okay. Let me just make a note of that. They are well liked in this town. Okay. Uh, let's see about Vincent. I'll say after the fact, Vincent kind of tries to weasel his way in with the group. When people are saying like, oh yeah, it's the heroes, he'll kind of insert himself. So we'll say, does Vincent stick around enough that they just kind of let him? Yes. Okay. It is a good thing I have this then. I do not have this then. Okay, hold on. I thought I was fully prepared, but apparently I have no idea what I'm doing. Where is he? There he is. Okay. So yeah, I am not good at drawing like characters with scales and stuff. So for the time being, I'm using this until I can like, you know, do that. But yes, this is Vincent Illrigger. He is a sorcerer. And this is all stuff I rolled for like in between to see if he had a class and stuff. So yeah, Vincent's the kind of weird guy that shows up when everyone's celebrating. It's just like, and I was there too. Yeah, so let's see, you know what? I'm just gonna roll an intervention. So the intervention dice, that's something that I didn't have to do last time. Basically, you just roll, and it'll tell you, like, what happens story-wise. So, a 5. Okay. 5 is regress plot. Interesting. Okay. So, I'll say, despite everything going on in the town, Licity does want to, at some point, go back to Winegarden and make sure that her family is okay. Let me go ahead and write that. Wants to go to Winegarden and check on family. And because the plot has been regressed, I'll say she actually up and leaves the town, heading back into the forest to try and make her way back. Vincent, I'll say he stays in the town. He's not really, he doesn't want to go and get his cloak dirty. Let me... Oh, whoops, ignore that. there's not a fire yet. So, yes, Licity and Marigold leave the town. Licity has managed to get a new sword since her last one was chipped and not in good quality. It was a training sword. She gained a bit of experience from fighting that monster. In D&D terms, she leveled up. So Licity, being a level 2 fighter, is thinking that maybe she can go back and she has a chance. I'll say Marigold does not think that's the case, but does she tell her? This is going to be a question of if Marigold is being blunt. I'll say likely, because we've already discussed that Marigold is a very blunt person. So I'll say it's likely that she would straight up tell her. 2 and 3. No, but. Okay. So, Marigold does not tell Licity that it's not a good idea. But she does she does suggest letting her go forward. So I feel like Marigold would see Licity starting to like walk faster. Licity is an elf, and elves do have longer legs than halflings. So I feel like Marigold kind of rushes in front and is like, Licity, I know you want to get home, but let me go first. You may have gotten stronger, but it still could be dangerous. Licity, I feel like she'd be reasonable about this. She would go, alright, Marigold. I just really want to make sure they're okay. So the two make their way towards the city, and there is a soldier. Oops. I don't know what I grabbed there, but I grabbed something. It's a soldier. Okay, there we go. There's a soldier that is blocking them entry into the city. Alright, that's close enough. No entry. Question is, does Licity take that well? Let's go ahead and see. No, but okay. She doesn't take it well, but she knows that starting an altercation would just bring more guards. So let me just go ahead. Licity, Marigold, head back, down on lockdown. Licity stays calm. So she would probably say something like, is the town on lockdown? Is there any way that I can just enter? I live there, and I was out on pilgrimage. Does he believe it? Yes, but. So he goes, he believes her. He says, yes, you do have the look of a Winegarden local. However, strange things have happened in the town of late, so we are not opening our gates to anyone. If you have any messages, I can try and get them sent over if you have family. And so yeah, I'll say she writes a letter to her father, and she says, yes, one of my family members is is a knight. You could just get this to him, that'd be great. And at that, she turns and leaves, with Marigold close behind. Marigold is going to speak up. Well, Licity, I'm surprised you didn't start swinging on him, barge your way in. I wanted to, but it wouldn't have been smart. If there's just one guard out front, they've probably got several right inside. And if a whole fight breaks out, then, I mean, you could get hurt too. And Marigold's going to kind of scoff. You really think I can be hurt? I appreciate the concern, though. You gotta go? Okay. You have a good one, chess piece. I'll be putting it on YouTube after. So if you want to watch the VOD, you can check it out. Yes, so they make their way back to the city, and I'll say they go to the inn, where the bartender is mixing drinks. He looks a lot busier. And let's see, is there anything odd happening in the tavern? Or, yes, but. Okay. I'll say something feels off. But Licity and Marigold, they can't put their fingers on it. It's just an odd feeling. They get their drinks and their food, and they just enjoy a quiet night after the long journey, when a familiar face shows himself. Well, if it isn't my two companions, how are ya? Licity just rolls her eyes. Oh, I'm just fine after you're such a brave companion, just decided to let us go all on our own. Yes, well, you see, I'm a city folk. I don't really do the whole nature thing. You understand how it is. And he reaches for Marigold's drink. She just smacks his hand away. Well, things have been weird since you guys were gone. Marigold just takes a sip and looks at him. We've barely been gone a day. What's happened? Let's say as a suspicious new group arrived. Six. Yes, and okay. And I think that is the that's the second 6 that we've got. No, wait, that's the third. Oh shit. Okay. So there's an intervention check. If you get 3 6s, something happens. So we'll see what this is. So a strange group has entered town. And let's say they rented the second floor of the tavern. Rented the entire second floor of the tavern. Okay. Now we've got to roll on the intervention to see what kind of thing this is. Okay. One is a new entity. Okay. So we have a new entity. Let's see what their attitude is. They are neutral. Okay. So I'll say this new entity is someone that was with the group. So let me roll on my handy dandy race sheet and we can see what kind of person this is. D12. 9. It is a gnome. Okay. Let's see. Check. It is a female gnome. Okay. I'll say that she's with the group. So a female gnome comes downstairs and is she drunk? 1, no, and okay. She's not drunk and she kind of scoffs at everyone that has ale in front. Okay, I think I've got an idea of what's. I think this group is a church of some kind. Female gnome comes downstairs and scoffs at alcohol consumption. Let me go ahead and get a thing that I can use. Come on. Alright, this is the whole thing with solo D&D is sometimes you have to take a minute or two. Let me see. I'm trying to find a decent picture that isn't like AI. Or just like straight up stolen stuff, you know? Okay, there we go. There's something. Wait, no. Shit. This is the fun part. Okay. Now let me go ahead and toss her in here. Sorry, that's the thing with all this is you never know what you're gonna get. Okay. So she comes downstairs, kind of looks to the party here and orders a tall glass of water. Vincent kind of sizes her up and goes, wouldn't you rather have some ale, lass? And she looks at him. No, I don't need anything inhibiting my decisions. Thank you. And she takes the water, and as she starts to head back up, she pauses and looks at Marigold and Licity. I'll roll to see if she knows of them, because they are kind of like folk heroes right now. I'll say it's likely, so I'll go ahead and roll. One and two. So that's a no. Okay. I'll say, she doesn't recognize them as the supposed heroes that defeated a monster. But she does look like, she does think they look like they could be capable. You two. Do you need work or anything? Licity and Marigold look at each other and back to her. Sure. Vincent kind of, like, scoots, between them all. Okay, but what about me? I am also an adventurer. She just goes, you're kind of an idiot, but yeah, sure, the more the merrier. Come along. And she leads them upstairs. I don't have an upstairs for the tavern, so we're just gonna have to stick with this. And there's a group of different people of different races wearing robes, and they all have water, just like salads in front of them. It seems like they don't eat meat. Well, we are with... No, I'm just gonna... We are with the Risen Refuge Church. And we happen to... I'll say Risen Refuge sounds a lot like they deal with undead. So let me go ahead and mark this down. Church of Risen Refuge as a job. So, do they deal with undead? I'll say it's likely, because Risen Refuge just sounds very tomb adjacent. Oh my god, that's 2 6s. Okay, I'm did not expect there to potentially be another intervention, but we may get one. Yes, and okay. They deal with undead and people's paths to the afterlife. So they're very much a church of like when someone's on their deathbed, this church will come and like try to ease them into the afterlife. And I guess also procure tombs. So does Licity know about this church? I'm actually going to use the actual D&D thing. So we're gonna roll the d20, and it's -1. I wonder if I can put like minus. I cannot. Oh wait, I can. So 14. Yeah, I'll say she's probably heard about them. Being as how her father was a knight, she's probably seen her fair share of family friends being laid to rest. Yeah, I'll say knowing this, she's going to ask, hey, do you happen to know of the state of Winegarden? And let's see, does she know? Does she know the state of Winegarden? She goes, that's no and. So she goes, there's something happening in Winegarden? I was just there last month on pilgrimage. What seems to be the problem? Do any of them know what happened in Winegarden? Five. Yes. Okay, I'll say a few of them kind of speak up. Yeah, there was a coup or something. The town's kind of on lockdown. The knights turned against the royal family. It was a whole mess. Apologies. Well, if things are really that bad, then they're going to need aid in crossing over. You help us with this, and I'll see about getting you into the town. Okay, there we go. So we have our quest. Now let's see what it... Okay. I'm gonna do a random name generator. Okay, we're gonna go female name. Katusha. Okay, her name is Katusha. Gnome woman named Katusha. Okay. Yes. So she has everyone sit down. There's a cave on the outskirts of this city. We have reason to believe that Something foul is happening in there. We don't know if it's bandits, monsters, a combination of the two. But we want you to give me 1 minute while I do this and mute my mic. Okay, apologies again. So, gnome woman named Katusha, there's strange things happening in a cave. I'll say it's probably like a cave that's typically used for burials. Cave used for burials. Go check it out. And you can go into Winegarden with the church. Okay. So yeah, I'll say with that deal, Licity is 100% down. Marigold sees it as a good opportunity. That, you know, she would have preferred money, but you know, she understands why Licity would take this. Let's see, does Vincent decide to tag along this time? One, no, and okay. So not only does Vincent not tag along, he goes, you see, I would love to join on another grand adventure, but I left my my cat running, so I need to go catch it. And he leaves. So we have Vincent, who is now gone, and it leaves Marigold and Licity to go and check it out. So, yeah. Oh, you guys are not supposed to see that yet. Okay. Let me get rid of, actually need to change her name on the thing. Katusha. Okay. So yeah, Katusha's gone. It is now just these two. You know, Marigold is a druid, so I feel like I wouldn't even need to roll to see if they can find their way. So, the two find their way to the cave. Let me see if I can get some cave music going. This does not sound like cave music. Okay, this can work. Wait, did I not put the cave one up? Oh my god, oh, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Okay. There we go. And we're just gonna stretch this out a bit. Okay. So the two of them enter the cave. And actually, before we do the cave, before we hit up the cave, let me see if they run into any trouble in the forest. Okay, yeah. Do they run into any trouble in the forest? One. That's no and. Okay. I'll say not only do they not run into trouble, they actually find a bit of a shortcut, so they get there earlier than they planned on. Okay. So now they're in the cave. Yeah, this isn't good cave music. Okay, this is better. It'd actually be really funny if this whole time I didn't have the audio playing. But yes, the two of them enter the cave. Licity has dark vision, so she's pretty easily able to see. And do halflings have dark vision? They do not. Okay. Let me see if Marigold has a spell. I'll say she can probably just like grab a stick outside the cave and use druid craft to create a torch. So she kind of grabs a stick, she reaches into the dirt, kind of crushes it in her hand, and Licity will watch as flames kind of erupt from between her fingers as she just lights the stick. Alright, let's head in then. Is whatever's in there aware of their presence? Or yes, but. Okay. I'll say it's aware, but it doesn't do anything. Whatever it is they're trying to take care of knows that they're there, but isn't making any moves. Okay. They enter the cave, and whatever's in there knows that they are. Okay. I guess now let's see what this thing is. Is it human? No. You know, I probably should have worded that better, because human can mean a lot of things in D&D. Okay. Is it bandits? No. Okay, it's not bandits. Is it a monster? It's not a monster. Is it an undead? No. What is this thing? Wait. Is it the man that was fighting Licity's dad? Yeah. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. In the cave is the knight that Licity's dad was fighting. This is very bad. This is very bad. Okay. So he's in there. He knows that they're there, but he doesn't do anything. Okay. I'll say they go deeper into the cave, trying to check things out. Do any of the graves appear like they've been tampered with? Three. No, but. I'll say they haven't been tampered with. But it appears like everything around them was. Like maybe instead of the graves themselves being messed with, it was like markings on the walls and the floors around them. Maybe some candles and some sigils. I'll say Licity has no idea. I don't even have to roll for it. She's a country girl, not country girl. She's a farm girl that barely knows how to use a sword. Uh, does Marigold recognize these? No. Okay. I'd say Marigold does not know what it is, but she looks back at Licity. Alright, we need to be careful. Someone was definitely in here, messing with something. And as she goes to mess with the sigil, like kind of scrub it off, does the hidden figure strike? Oh, oh no, and that's a 6. Oh no. Okay. So it does strike. Let's see what we roll to see what he strikes with. Oh my god, another 6. Oh, so many 6s. Wild. Okay. Oh shit. Oh shit, I deleted the thing I'm using. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, because I guess I have to use a portent. Exist, engine, jam, abide, and moo. Exist, engine. Oh, okay. So I'll say exist and engine. We'll use those 2 words. I'll say a Warforged attacks. So let me go ahead and get an image. Okay, come on, daddy, come on. Man, one thing I hate is WebP files. Like, I'm trying to save this image and it's like, do you want to save it as a web file? Like, no, I can't open a web file. Okay. And then there was this site that I used. If I can find it. Sorry, this is taking a minute. I just gotta do a thing. There we go. Okay, I swear this is gonna be worth it. Okay, so now comes a fun thing I've been working on that I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to use today, but it looks like I am. As soon as I can find the... Damn it, did I not put that up either? Okay. There we go. I will just use this. God damn it, WebP! Okay. Cave map. Okay. So yes, this is the thing I've been working towards doing. As soon as I can get it good to go. Okay, there we go, finally. Okay, so yes, this is the cave, and we have boop and boop. There we go. See some cool little tokens here. I have to move them manually, but you know, besides that, I think it came out pretty good. So I will move them here. Actually, I'll say she's over here because she wanted to examine it and wipe the stuff off. And this guy appears. I'll say he lands right here in like the crater. So it is now time as soon as I actually find some. Okay, I just gotta Google something else. There we go, I'll put that on loop. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do initiative. What the? Why is my thing so long? Okay, hold on. I need a new initiative thing. I accidentally made mine longer than my hopes and dreams. Yeah, it cannot be white. There we go. Okay. So we now have the initiative. I'll go ahead and roll for all of them. So first I'm gonna roll for Licity. Ooh, not good. Not good there. That is a 9. Marigold got a nat 20. Okay, so Marigold's just ready to scrap. And the Warforged 19. It is almost as ready to scrap as Marigold. Okay. So let me... Initiative. So we got Marigold, Enemy, and Licity. Okay. Let me just pull up an enemy stat block real quick. Okay. There we go. So yeah, Marigold is gonna go first. She's going to... I'd say she'd move a bit away. She is a druid, so cast... A lot of her stuff is casting that requires her to not be right up there. He's going to cast Ice Knife. So the creature here needs to make a save. I believe it's a dex save. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Marigold tries to hit it with an ice attack, and I'll say with a nat 20, it doesn't do anything. The creature, after it lands and kind of makes a crater, it turns to them, and the attack just kind of brushes against it. And it is now its turn. So it's going to slowly step towards Marigold. And... yeah, its hand kind of rotates and becomes a blade. And it's gonna try and hit her. That is a 9 plus 5. So does a 14 hit Marigold? It does. Okay. So does 1d6 plus 3. Ooh, 8 damage. That is not good. That is very not good. Next is Licity. And yeah, seeing that, she's going to rush up with her sword. And she's gonna try and attack this thing. I'll say she can use flanking, so she gets advantage. So that is 2d20, 18, and a 15. I'm pretty sure both of those hit. It was just one attack though, but yes. Actually, only the 18 would have hit. So she brandishes her longsword. It kind of glistens in the light from the cave, and she rushes in and see how much damage. Okay. Okay, six damage. Not bad. Not bad. Not great, but it's not bad. You know what? I think just to be on the safe side, because now she has access to this. I think she's going to action surge, and she's going to try and attack again. And flanking only works once, so it's on her own this time. That one is not going to hit. Okay, so first attack hits, the creature's and turns around, and as she goes to swing, you know what? Does it catch the weapon? Like, as she's slashing, does it catch her sword? No. Okay. So yeah, it just kind of you know that thing like when someone like hits a bell or something and it kind of like like vibrates you? It was basically that. So Marigold she's kind of trapped, and that one hit from the creature did a number on her. She's kind of like on one knee, just coughing up blood, and she places she reaches down into the ground, grabs a fistful of dirt, presses it against her chest, and it starts to glow as she casts Cure Wounds. That is 2d8. 4. Okay. She healed about half of the damage that it gave her. And is there anything else she can do? I'll say she won't wild shape yet, because she can't cast spells as a wild shape, and she may need to cure on both of them if they keep getting hit like this. Okay, so creature's going to attack again. 9. I didn't even say who it was hitting. Was it attacking Marigold? 3. I think that's a no. No. Okay. So it was attacking Licity. And 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It does not hit. So it turns around, it tries to swing its blade at Licity, and she holds up her sword as sparks fly as it just slides against her blade. And it is now her turn. $13 plus... Yeah, that's gonna hit. And that's 7 damage. Okay, there we go, Licity. There we go. Okay. She deflects the first attack, and using the momentum as she pushes it away, she spins around and slashes at it. Now it is Marigold's turn. And oh wait, actually, no, her turn already went, but she could have gotten advantage. I'll say she's, yeah, Marigold does not have much in straight damage dealing. Okay, she's gonna try Entangle. So she's going to try and get some vines to break forth from the earth to wrap around this thing. And let's see if it is able to break out of it. Or, yeah, yeah. Those the vines do nothing. If anything, it probably seemed to piss it off a bit. As it's now its turn, and it's going to swing at Marigold. That's gonna hit. Oh my. Marigold goes down. As she tries to cast these vines, try and wrap around this thing, it breaks free, turns to her, and with its palm out just smacks her into the ground, and she just falls limp. Licity looks on. Marigold! And it is her turn. Thing is, Licity does not have anything for healing. So her only hope is to try and take this thing out fast. Oh no. Oh no, she's getting frazzled. Okay, Here, I'm actually going to turn this so that you guys know she's down. Licity is going to try and swing at this thing, but she's just too shaken watching Marigold collapse. It is Marigold's turn as she does a death saving throw. That's one fail. The creature's going to turn to... Actually, I'm gonna see something. Because the creature was trying to attack because she was messing with the sigil. If Marigold is down, does the creature stop its rampage? Let's find out. Sick. Oh my god, it's another sick. Hold on. Okay, that's just two. Yes, and. Okay. I'll say the creature stops its rampage and goes back over to repaint the sigil. Now, oops. I think Licity is going to focus much more on Marigold. So, let me see. Does Licity know anything about first aid? I'll say it's likely because she was a farm girl. She probably tended to the animals. So I'll say duties. Oh, another 6. Actually, no. I'm going to take the 4. Yes, but. So I'll say she knows how to do first aid, but she doesn't have any supplies on her. Actually, you know what? Nah, we gotta for the sake of the plot, we gotta take the The yes and. Okay. So, yes and. She starts applying first aid, stabilizing Marigold. Marigold's still in rough shape, but she's stabilized. And let's see what this intervention roll we get is. Negative entity. Thing is, I know exactly who that negative entity is. I don't even need to, like, do a thing. At the edge of the cave. Hold on, where is he? Okay. At the edge of the cave, Licity sees a familiar face as he looks to her and says, "I never leave a job half finished." And that's where we're going to end it for today. I think it's nice to have a little cliffhanger ending every now and then. But yeah, I think it was definitely had some interesting things happen. We will have to see next time what becomes of them. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.